Hello, I'm Jash, and welcome back to a lovely episode Jash Reads, the series where I read a book from cover to cover and discuss it chapter by chapter. And in this series, I also, slowly build stuff too, so we get to read, get nerdy, and yeah, still get nerdy with Minecraft. So hang on, let me finish setting up on my end. Oh gosh, I did not mean to do that shit. Basically, accidentally had my jacket attack me, so yay! Okay, nearly done here, nearly done here. So, earlier today, I got to wake up really early. No, yay. Oh, need to change that. I ended up waking early because going to a morning birthday breakfast for my father-in-law. So, and then after that, me and Brian went to the gun range. Oh, that's not normal. Do we usually get around this way? Hey! Danny! Danny's been a good girl, not doing anything but the start of a stream. Okay, come on. No. Come on. Come on, Danny. Come on, girl. Be a good girl. Good girl. Stop. Hey, Google. Set 35-minute timer.
Got it. 35 minutes. And that's starting now.
Okay, let's see. If this is at the hallway, that most likely means I can reach it while building up the wall. But anyways, then I went to the gun range. I'm getting better, and one of the professionals there actually helped me, better hold the gun. I'm slightly ambidextrous, so, deciding between left and right. And I actually improved. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is just a little sleeping quarters. I think that would be best. And let's see the color of the bed. Okay, here we go. So after that, we were there for a few hours. God, at one point my tendonitis really acted up, so I had to stop firing and sit down for a little bit. And tendonitis, as breaking down the word itis, means inflammation of, and tendon, so inflammation of the tendon. Which sort of describe how it feels when my tendonitis is irritated. It's sort of like feels like my foot is just getting all turned around, but like something just turning my foot all around every which way. But nothing's actually happening to my feet, so yeah. I have it on both feet, so I had to sit down. And then when I came back, God, what's this? This looks like a naturally made doorway. This is part of some other room here, so I'm just gonna patch this up. if I really need to change this. Like I could just... I don't need the chests in creative mode, so... we could start destroying this and figure out what sort of room to make it next. But we should get to doing the actual reading portion, so... let's see. Let's get a nice position here. Okay, I look cute to look at right here. Let me sip, not some Coke, but sip the Starbucks Frappuccino thing you can buy at the store. So. Oh, I forgot to mention what book we'll be reading. We'll be continuing to read Animorphs number 13, The Change by K.A. Applegate today. And we will be reading chapter 10. So, stretching out, not procrastinating. Oh, my ear's itchy. I better scratch that. It sounds like my birds are fucking talking back to me, and I should listen to them. Okay. Opening the Kindle. Let's see let's see if I change the brightness up one little bit. Whew, okay. Okay. Getting through the last bit of nerves here. I don't know why I keep on stretching my arms. It's not going to exactly do shit. But anyways, let's continue. Chapter 10. When we begin now. Or do we? Just kidding. What kind of company, Cassie? I heard Jake snap. 15, maybe 20 people. They're strung out in a line, coming this way. And I have an equal number coming from the southeast, Rachel said. And oh man, they have Hork-Bajir with them. It's not even dark and they're bringing Hork-Bajir out in the open. They want our boy here real badly, I said. It's a big risk running aliens through the woods when it's still light enough to see. They're converging on you, Cassie reported. I have a small troop of Hork-Bajir coming up too. Oh man, this isn't good. You guys are practically surrounded. You have maybe 5 minutes till they're all over you. Talk about bad timing. It's getting late, Marco pointed out. It's almost dinner time. My dad will give me much grief if I don't get home in time for dinner. Jake laughed. So did I. It was just so ridiculous having to worry about being grounded when we were halfway surrounded by Yeerks. We could easily escape, Axe said. We can all morph some small animal or bird and not be seen. That wouldn't help old Jarahami here, Marco said. Distraction, Jake said. We need to draw the bad guys away. But the Yeerks are looking for a Hork-Bajir, Hex pointed out. Will they be foolish enough to follow any of us? We can only hope they will, Jake said tersely. We can get away, but I don't think we can leave Jarahami behind. But I had a different idea. Unfortunately, it was a dangerous idea. A very dangerous idea. and the danger would all be on someone else, not me. I hesitated. It makes me sick when other people take risks that I can't take. Look, there might be a way, I said at last. What? Jake asked. They want a Hork-Bajir to chase, right? Well, we could give them one? Morph a Hork-Bajir? Marco asked. Phew. Jirahami isn't just any animal, Cassie objected. He's sentient. He's self-aware. Axe morphed me once, Jake pointed out. And Cassie, you morphed Rachel. I'm just saying we have to get Jirahami's permission, at least. Cassie said. Whatever you decide, do it quick. I'll do it. I'll morph the Hork-Bajir, Rachel said. Suddenly, I saw her glide down through the trees on her huge eagle wings. I need to change morphs. Anyway, it's getting too dark for eagle eyes. No, I should do it, Axe said quickly. No way, Rachel said. She was already starting to demorph. I have dibs. Dibs? I spoke first, Rachel explained. Axe let it go and focused his main eyes back on the Hork-Bajir. Yeerks are coming. One of my friends wishes to morph you, to trick the Yeerks. Do you agree? Jirahami hates Yeerks, the big Hork-Bajir said, like that was all the answer he needed to give. Okay then, turn around, Jirahami, I ordered the Hork-Bajir. Close your eyes and don't look till I tell you. If you open your eyes, this Ruthin here, this Andalite, will slice and dice you. You got it? Eyes closed. The Hork-Bajir turned around obediently. I would have laughed if I wasn't feeling half sick with worry for Rachel. I mean, this 7-foot-tall monster was taking orders from a 20-inch long bird. But my sense of humor was slightly damaged right then. Rachel was going to morph a Hork-Bajir, and then she was going to draw off the Yeerks. She was going to make them chase her. And hang on a moment, I need to wet my whistle. Is that the phrase? That sounds fucking old, ancient. Danny, you okay? Oh yeah, you're just pissed off because I locked you up. Okay, and back to the chapter. It made me sick to think about it. It had been my idea, my brilliant idea, and she would take the risk. Rachel began to emerge from her eagle body. She rose up swiftly from the pine needle and rotting leaf floor of the forest. Up and up, a weird, misshapen nightmare creature made of fair human flesh and dark brown feathers, bright yellow beak, and lengthening legs. I would have given anything to be able to go in her place, but I can't morph. I would be safe in the sky or in the trees while she was trying to outrun the enemy. It was the story of my life lately. My friends went into danger, and I stayed safe. All because I couldn't morph. In a minute, Rachel was no longer a bird, but a human girl. A human girl who even now, even with all of us scared, managed to look like some smiling magazine cover girl. You don't have to do this, Rachel, I said. It's Rachel's greatest thrill, Marco said. Hang on, sorry, the screen started to go dark there for a little bit. Let me... I am not helping the situation. Okay. Okay, we're going to have that little bit of purple off on the right. Sorry. I do like how that happened. The timing, though, is like right as Tobias is getting pissed off. I just moved like that. Okay. Concentrate, Jash. Center your chi or whatever the hell you have. And we're going to go slightly back, so sorry for repeating. You don't have to do this, Rachel, I said. It's Rachel's greatest thrill, Marco said. More for Hork-Bajir? Hey, she'll finally get to become on the outside of what she's always been inside. Shut up, Marco, I snapped. Rachel gave me a look that said, "Don't worry, Tobias." But she said nothing because she was now fully human. We still didn't want the Hork-Bajir to know we were human. We didn't want him to hear a human voice. The Hork-Bajir stood peacefully as Rachel reached out her slender fingers to touch the creature's back. The Hork-Bajir went slightly limp as she began to acquire him, to absorb his DNA and make it part of her. "Guys," Cassie called down from the sky, "I'm serious now. The bad guys are definitely getting close. I can see them." With my hawk's hearing, I heard the sounds of heavy creatures stomping and crashing clumsily through the woods. I heard the metallic clank of weapons against belts and the muttered commands between human controllers and Hork-Bajir. "Cassie's right," I said. "We're down to 2 minutes maximum." Rachel gave a nod. She sent me a cocky wink. She closed her eyes and focused on the new morph. And then Rachel began to change. I wanted to turn away, but somehow I felt like I owed it to her to watch. It was because of me this was happening to her. I can't tell you how utterly bizarre that scene was. The woods were growing dark. Shadows were deep all around. And even with my hawk's eyes, I couldn't see through the shadows. Overhead, the sky was dark blue streaked with red and orange. Not yet black. True night was still an hour away, but under the shade of the trees, it was night already. We stood there, an insane nightmare of creatures. The Hork-Bajir, eyes closed tight. The Andalite, deadly tail twitching nervously at the prospect of battle. The orange and black striped tiger climbing down from the rocks, moving like liquid power. A gorilla walking erect, using its massive fists as extra feet. And me, the bird boy, And in the middle of our group was Rachel. She was growing taller now. She was already tall for a girl, but now she was quickly heading toward shack size. Her skin was changing. It turned dark, almost green-black. Her feet mutated swiftly from dainty human to the three-toed, one-spur feet of the Hork-Bajir. Feet that looked like my own talons, except much, much larger. Her face grew elongated. The jaw bulged outward and became smooth as a bullet. Her eyes were narrow, red-tinged slits. And then the blades began to appear. Whoop! Horn blades exploded from her forehead. Whoop! Blades appeared at the wrist and elbow. Whoop! Blades grew at her knees. Rachel had become a walking razor. 7 feet of muscle deadly speed. So, Rachel said, so this is a Hork-Bajir. And that is it for the chapter. Yay! Woo! I made it with only 1 coffee break. Yay! Hang on. Let me get things changed up again. I just get rid of holding the controller and move my pillow just because I don't need that when I read. Woo! That was good. So yeah, the already difficult conversation with, the Hork-Bajir. Now it's like more difficult because now it's not just talking with the Hork-Bajir. It's what are we going to do now that the Yeerks have found are close to our location. This chapter really perfectly shows Tobias's guilt over the situation. Like, true, he is fighting the Yeerks just as much as the others, but he can't do what the other Animorphs can't. It just came to me the perfect way to describe it is he has a disability. So he can't do what, quote unquote, normal people can. So once I just thought right now that we're disabled to describe the situation, like my world is like, oh my god, I've just made a breakthrough. Oh gosh. Blew my mind real time now. Yay! But yeah, and as I'm disabled myself, yeah, that's a new way to just, okay, this is why I like scripts. Because I'm actually able to sound smart and not just blank out for a good hot minute. But so anyways, let me go back and we'll pretend I said never made this, just blanking out for a second. Anyways, so this chapter perfectly shows one large problem Tobias has. He's fighting the Yeerks, but because he can't morph, he can't participate like the others. So there's various situations where he's left on the sidelines, not because he's a coward or afraid, but because, he just can't. It's sort of like a person who is disabled. Like, I want to do a bunch of things, but my various disabilities make that an impossibility. And the thing is, I still feel guilty about not being able to do certain things. Like couple years back, I developed severe vertigo, which means I basically had to restructure my entire life so I could still, get things done, but also have a very low chance of triggering my vertigo. Sometimes. And then I have asthma too. So there are just some times when looking after my own, personal health, making sure I don't have a bad asthma attack, that I don't have a bad case of vertigo where I can't do anything. Like I have to lie down and go to sleep to sort of recover. And I feel guilty. I know it's not my fault, but that's just how things feel. And Tobias is sort of, experiencing something like that, because instead of a disability like mine, he can't do what the others can. And even though, he's not being a coward, it still eats him up inside. Or block. Let's see. Let's see what would be good here. I'm gonna do Crying Obsidian. Why not? Do what I want. And being aware of this whole thought process of Tobias, feeling guilty for not participating like the others are, really is, I'm not saying too much, but it's definitely important to the overall plot of the book. And then that onto his usual guilt of, I'm not participating, so I must be a failure. The person who decides that they'll go along with his plan is Rachel, the girl he loves. So basically, the most precious person Tobias knows is now the person he may soon feel guilty for killing, essentially, because even though he's, not actually killing her, he is putting her in a situation that she didn't have to be in. Or maybe that would be the only plan the Animorphs could come up with. But it wasn't just anyone who suggested it was him. And Marco's coping mechanism is humor. My coping mechanism is also humor. And yeah, the only way Marco knows how to deal with this stress is to make a joke. And so he just basically puts his foot in his mouth. And it's like both Rachel and Tobias are like, excuse me, do you know what the fuck is going on here? So yeah, it's... God. And then with Cassie, I love Cassie with all my heart. I think she is definitely an overhated character in the fandom. But the Animorphs already know that when you morph something, you're acquiring its DNA-based instincts, but you're not acquiring its memory. And there was, hang on, let me get back, one point where a change from rehearsing to actually performing made me snap at Cassie at a moment I didn't mean to. After when she's saying, I'm just saying we have to get Jirahami's permission at least. And when I narrated, Cassie said, yeah, I didn't mean to be that angry. That was not how it was in rehearsal. Yeah, but Jake points out, hey, you've done this too, and actually, okay, hang on, let me get back to my original point, which I probably did have. But anyways, like, the Animorphs know at this point that, you know, morphing a creature means acquiring its DNA and base instincts. They don't acquire its memories, which, you know, for more sentient creatures would definitely, you know, be an actual discussion they would really need to have and think about. But they all know that's not the case, but Cassie's still really adamant about this point. Like, oh, oh no, we might acquire the memories. Like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Oh my fucking god. But she does bring up a good point of, if you're going to acquire a person and morph them, you do need that permission, because yeah, even though you don't get their memory, it's still like a polite thing to say, because it's like, hey, there's going to be another you for a little bit. Do you want to discuss it? You know, and and it's really good that Jirahami said, yeah, okay, I'm fine. Like, all he had to say was, like, I hate Yeerks. Do what you're going to do. That's all Jirahami needed to say. No, I don't really have an idea what I'm doing with this room. Why do you ask? I just saw, ooh, this would make a nice floor. Ta-da! Maybe another workroom of some kind. Yeah, let's see. I think that's all that needs to really... Yeah. All I can think of discussing about the chapter. What if we housed animals here? Oh my god. No. Let's see. See how would this look in this room? Okay, yeah, this is good. Did I have another bell back here? No, I didn't. Okay. Okay, this will be a nice little meeting room for all of them. Oh, maybe bees. Yes. Anyways. Okay, now for the question of this here video. Let's see. did bring up disabilities at one point. Let's see, maybe something around that. Let's see. Wait, morphing cube. Gee. No, there's no blue. Okay, I brought up disabilities, so what disability? What sort of disability really quick? Okay, for my question for today's video on the topic of disabilities, how do you feel that being disabled... Oh, goddamn. Hang on, let me try to rewrite this. Okay, I think this is better. How does being disabled affect your day-to-day life? What thing, like with my vertigo, vertigo and asthma, I do have to plan my day around. Yeah, that's just, you know, around my disabilities. I have to change so much, honestly. Yeah. So how does being disabled affect your day-to-day life? And how does that make you feel? Like, does it make you feel guilty like Tobias does in this chapter? Please discuss below. And now we will be getting to the links. Now, before I get to the links, a few things. First off, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Give me attention. That's why I do all this. I crave attention. Stop. And another thing, some of the links that I'm going to talk about are Amazon Associate links, which means... Oh, God. What's the... Hang on. I accidentally turned off chat for a moment. But anyways, what Amazon Associate links means is that if you buy things via the links, you will, you know, not only support creators, but also help support me. I need money. I'm disabled. Okay, now the first link, of course, will be a link to buy your very own copy of Animorphs number 13, The Change, by K.A. Applegate. Animorphs is hands down my favorite series of all time. I, was really into it, like, when I was growing up. Shows how old I am. And I, for a while after the last book, I got out of the series, and then I decided to reread the series, and I was honestly a little nervous because I remember reading a Piers Anthony book, and I used to love those growing up. I mean, Xanath is in the shape of Florida, my home state, so yeah. And, I was a little disappointed when, it didn't have the same charm for me as when I was younger. So, I was nervous, but then Animorphs was still... It was good in a different way. Like, I didn't realize how mature some of the discussions were. Like, there's... Genocide keeps on coming up, the discussion of whether or not to use bioweapons came up multiple times. And like a host of other things. So yeah, I really love this series, and my dramatic readings are limited sort of by my talent or, lack thereof, so you really should read the books yourself, and hey, maybe you'll walk away with a totally different interpretation than you get during my readings, and, that's fine. Just realized this is in creative mode, so I can just use beehives. So yeah, that is the first link. Let me finish getting replacing the boxes with hives. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now let me take a sip of the frappe again. And look for the next link, and the next link will be to my Twitter account. And no, I am never calling it X. Can't pay me enough. And on Twitter, we can discuss Animorphs all day, all night. Don't worry, I don't think you can ever out-talk me and bore me about Animorphs. Oh, good job, Danny! Good job! I don't think that's really possible, and if you're able to talk to me more about Animorphs to the point it bores me, you honestly deserve some sort of award there. But just a warning, for this dramatic reading series, I do have a no major spoilers rule, but on Twitter I do not have that. So if you're not yet finished with the series, either, don't talk to me about Animorphs there, or just warn me ahead of time so I can, not ruin things for you. The next link is to my Patreon, and the Patreon helps support my streams. This Jash reads, Skyrim, and every other stream I have. Alan Wake, help support that. And it also supports every odd thing I'm doing with my blog. And it also helps, support me writing the original book series I am, and which will be the next link, so I will discuss that in just a moment. So, and I do have two tiers, a $1 and a $5 one. The $5 one is, why am I starting with the $5 instead of the $1? Anyways, the $1 is seeing, red bubble designs before I actually release them. And I am currently working on a collection inspired by the Animorphs series. And I just have 2 more designs to go before I actually start releasing them on Redbubble. But if you're, on the $1 tier on my Patreon, you will be able to see those designs that I have currently now. And then for the $5 tier, you get to see my ebook cover reveals, which are also the first time I tend to reveal the titles of my next books. I'm still working on writing Kafka's Men 8, so I'm not even close to getting a cover reveal yet, so. you know, when I finally finish that book, you can see, if you're in the $5 tier, you can see that cover before anyone else. Finally, okay, what am I doing? And the final link is going to be to my Kafka's Men series, which is my original reverse harem series. It's also a grim, dark superhero series, so that, you know, catches your interest, yeah. If you like angst, a body horror, and a romance, well, you'll definitely want to check the series out. As I said previously, I am currently working on the 8th book in the series. I've recently finished writing the first chapter of the 8th book, so that's good. And those are all the links. Even though this is a little late to say it, if you are watching this on Twitch, so a little bit after I finish this stream, I will be adding the links to the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, links are in the description, so if anything I said sounded interesting, please check it out. And now I'm just going to finish destroying everything here, so next time we won't have to worry about that, and we can just do whatever odd thing we want to the room. Maybe a nice bedroom here. Yeah, I think that's... If I want to expand the villagers, I will definitely need, you know, more places for them to sleep, or a workroom. Maybe it'll be a workroom. Who knows? I don't. And I'll probably forget whatever ideas I'm thinking of for the room, so I don't know what the next stream of Jash Reads will bring. That's exciting. All these exciting possibilities. Okay. Let's see. The room of possibilities. Which let's see if I can get the ones. Okay, I got that in the background. Good. Run strange room of possibilities. So this is the end of this video. So I hope you had a good time. I hope that maybe you decide to check out Animorphs. And until next stream, until next video, goodbye.